Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome back to another Ready List video where I go over my focus list, the top names I'm watching going into tomorrow's session, as well as some of my thoughts on the market. I hope you all enjoy. Another really great day for so many stocks. You had the Tuesday undercut and rally on the QQQ, as well as so many different names. Yesterday, so much really good follow through on names, and then kind of seeing that same thing today. A lot of follow through on some really great names, and yeah, the market's been super rewarding on the long side. There's been so many opportunities. The watch lists have been killer. Names have been setting up so beautifully and just acting so well. So it's a really great environment. So I want to continue working my butt off on scanning and finding the best looking stocks every single day. So the optic names, a few of them were really great today. I was able to pick up COHR today. Super nice inside day there. Yesterday, right under the pivot, beautiful higher low setup. This is everything I look for when it comes to higher low setup, right at the 20-day, super tight under the pivot, and then pushes out today. So that was really nice. This is when I was able to get get a position in. So that was great. GEV is another name I bought today on a 620 setup. It's got 3 inside days. I really love this weekly chart. It's just a nice little pullback for 4 days. Talked about this name a few times here. It had a super nice bounce off the support gap from the earnings gap up, which is practically the 50-day. And I'm hoping it can just push right out of this flag tomorrow. Maybe it can get an add onto the position. We will have to see, but I think this name looks great. I also picked up some circle today in the first 5 minutes of the day. So I do have I think a 2% cushion. So it's not anything too crazy. I will talk about like a Bitcoin, which has been acting like shit, but it's tight for like 4 or 5 days, right at a pretty important pivot. If you go to a weekly chart, that's kind of where we broke through, pulled back, and got super tight. So we need to burst out of this. Same thing with an Ethereum. Super tight, needs to push out of it. If it doesn't, then this is just a bear flag, and Circle is going to break the prior day low or today's low, and I'll be out of it, which can easily happen. But I flipped to like a weekly chart. I really like this inside week. Last week was a pivot, and you get a nice inside week. So I'm hoping that this could be the higher low and we can get pushed out of this. That'd be super interesting, but we're still kind of stuck in this like 4-day range. So will be interesting to see that. Affirm is another one that I bought today on a 620 setup. It's below the 200, but nice earnings and sales in a name like this. Super nice base. I really needed to push back above the 200. I had super tight risk on something like this. It's a 5% ATR. It's not too extended. It's not extended at all, in fact. But the only negative, I guess, here is like it's got a nice base. You flip to a weekly chart, nice inside week. Big move up, sideways. I'm looking for a push out of this. It almost reminds me of ALAB from I think it was last year, but obviously ALAB I traded it when it was above the 200. But either way, I don't mind this look, and I would love to see this thing push out. Okay, speaking of AOI, right? We're going to these optics names, right? I think this name still looks great. You get your pivot, kind of a gap and crap day, and then just like another tight day, right? We're pretty much 3 days tight. Is this like a little mini bear flag, or are we going to get ready to push? So I'm watching Wednesday's high because that was a pretty important high today, right? We're kind of based it all day today. So can we push out of that in the morning or tomorrow? I would like to get a position in this, right? Like I talked about, I got COHR. So the group's still acting fine. VIEV was really nice on the earnings gap, right? Same thing that GEV did, where it fell into the gap, filled it, bounced undercut it with an open equals low candle yesterday, and then a super tight day today. It's not an inside day, but it's very tight right under the earnings low. So I'm just looking for a push, and you can see look at how tight this thing is. So looking for a push above that earnings candle low would be super interesting to me. But I think this group looks great. AOI looks awesome. LITE is another one that looks great, right? You come up to the pivot, right? This thing was a beautiful undercut and rally of the prior low. And pretty much like a bounce off the 50-day and a super nice follow through today. Undercut and rallied pretty much the 20-day. Lived below it for 2 bars and pushed above it. So on a pullback and inside day tomorrow on a name like this, I would love to get involved. Don't mind the weekly chart here. It's been digesting for a while. Nice higher low spot here in the overall trend. So this name likes to undercut its 20 and push back above it, like I talked about yesterday. So super interesting. This group super strong, top leading group in the last 1-3 months. So optics is very strong. You also got like a GLW on that list, which had a super nice day today. Definitely can throw this one on the list as well. I think it looks awesome. Another inside day on something like this, and I'd be super interested. So yeah, I like this one as well. We got AEHR. This name, the market's still kind of in a sideways move. This name was wedging, got hammered pretty hard. Nice kill bar, but I still see a base and some potential here. So I'm just gonna watch out Axe the next few days. It didn't quite get down to this exact low. It almost did, I think, by about 5 cents. It stayed above it. So I don't know if that's too much. I just see a higher low, but you know, I do see a nice base being built. So we will see. BE is also another one that's, yeah, it's pretty much pushing out of its base. I bought this one as a higher low setup, which was really beautiful. So I, you know, 20% cushion in 2 days is extremely nice, and maybe around 7 to 10 ATRs is where I'll try to take my first trim. We will have to see. This name's so strong, I don't even want to sell any at all, because, you know, even if it pulls back in the base a few inside days, or just, you know, any type of pullback, I'll look to add on this name. It's super strong. You got something like an F cell with its highest volume ever today, so strong. And I just want to emphasize how important and how like great these higher low setups are, especially inside the base, right? Like, I think, you know, this name, super important pivot all the way back in October 25, we bursted out of, right? You know, as you can see, a super important big move. We start to go sideways. We fall right back on it. Nice reversal candle, and we push as a higher low setup right there the next day, which was so beautiful. It's still in the range, and then it breaks out. Like, this thing gave a spot to, you know, enter, whether it's the undercut and rally, the higher low setup, and then the breakout of the sideways consolidation. And I mean, you know, absolute monster move. This name's been on the list like every single day from the point that it gapped up. So monster, absolute monster. Like I said, highest volume ever today. But that's the same sympathy play to something like a BE, which looks great. So I'm going to continue to watch this name, right? It still has a chance to like maybe squat back in the base, almost like this, but not as deep. Like staying above the 1020 would be super interesting. Some higher low in the spot, I would be super interested. CORZ, this WGMI group, these data centers, these neoclouds, with whether it's your APLD, which super monster day today, your NBIS, you know, just a nice gap up. I still think this name needs some consolidation, and then the action will be more clear. Wolf was nice. It got back above his 20-day today. You look at something like a Cypher, super big gain today, and awesome. Iron, another one where it's like the higher low setups just don't stop coming, right? You know, this might be easier to see on a daily chart, actually, right? Important level, you know, chop around it for a little bit, try to break out, squat back in, break out, makes a big move, but it's an important level. We come back, test it, nice reversal candle, you buy it through the prior day highs, a higher low setup, right? It's a perfect spot, and it acted so well. So this is another higher low setup that's just acting extremely well, and another name to keep an eye on a pullback. I mean, it had the highest volume ever. Anybody that bought it off that earnings report got shaken out, you know, shakes everybody out of it, builds a nice higher low, and absolute rockets. But you look at it like a weekly chart, this thing does not look done yet. It looks great, so definitely keep an eye on it. And a lot of other names in this group. CORZ is on the list. Nice inside week, but you know, just a super nice base. An inside day tomorrow, just any way to get into this name. This was another possible higher low setup that just looks awesome. So this group is super strong. Look at something like a Keel. This is a smaller cap name. It's decently liquid, 150 million a day, so not bad. Hut, another one on the list, awesome. This name looks awesome. Super nice push today. Just give me like some sort of, I can't say pullback because it did offer a super nice pullback to the 20, but like a few days tight or something, and I would love this stock. Like, you look at a weekly and it's like, okay, maybe it needs a little bit more digestion. You look at a daily and it's like, okay, it's building a base and it looks phenomenal. Shake out in the bottom of the base. Now don't go without me, okay? This name looks really good. Definitely something I want to keep an eye on. CRDO is another one that made a big comeback, right? Super nice undercut and rally, or just a massive shakeout of the lows over here, and it's right back up to the pivot. So another one that's like maybe a few days of sideways, and I'd be super interested in something like this, right? You still got the market in a sideways pattern, pretty much however you want to look at this, right? You know, we're still in that like little range that we've been building. So maybe continue to stay in the range and then we push out of it, or we're just going to push out of it and it's going to be insane. We will have to see. But CRDO, I think, looks bad. I think AVGO is not as good as something like the CRDO. It's below its 10 and 20. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's just not, this is not my favorite action. It can look better in a few days with some improvements, but I think CRDO had a nice shakeout and it's getting back up. GEV we talked about. GLW we talked about. Google, beautiful setup, right? Nice earnings gap up. You wait for the name to like consolidate and digest, and it does, and it pulls back to the 20. It is over 5 ATRs from the 50. So, you know, some people could say this is extended, but I really like this higher low setup it's offering. And for some reason, my charts are just not wanting to load right now. That is interesting. Okay, hopefully we're back. Little outage there, but you know, we pull back into the 20-day. You put in an inside day, and I'm watching this over the prior day high. This name looks awesome, and it looks so freaking great. Nice. Maybe it could use some more digestion for sure, but I really like how it holds the 20, puts in an inside day, and I'm watching for a push over the highs. HIVE, this name just had a huge gap up on the highest volume ever on some huge news, right? It's doing everything, and this is a part of the WGMI group, right? Your AI data centers. This name used to be a Bitcoin miner, but now it's pivoting from crypto mining to AI infrastructure, right? So super big change for this company, and a nice inside day today. This name definitely was buyable at the 200, maybe somewhere below that, or as a six, whatever. You can find a setup in here for sure, but I really like the inside day. Super tight. You look at like a weekly chart, big volume, nice push, just nice candle in general, and I think this name could just be getting started. So I'm watching for a push through that highest volume ever high slash today's high. So super important. Hunt, like I talked about, looks awesome. Innodata, I own this name from Wednesday. I bought this in the first, like a reclaim of VWAP, I think in like the first few minutes of the day. Where's Tuesday or Wednesday? Yeah, so like right in here, right? You get the gap up, starts to go. So I was getting it above VWAP, and it's acting amazing. I have some really nice cushion on it, and I think the chart looks great. You look at a weekly, nice inside week. Super big move up, textbook flag. Just looking for a push out of this little pivot it built from Thursday. Came into it as resistance today. We kind of peaked over it today, maybe a little pull in the morning and then a push out of it. That would be interesting. Iron, like I talked about, looks phenomenal. This group, continue to keep an eye on WGMI related group. They're super strong, super important, and I think they look great. LITE, same thing. Optics, these things look awesome. They're acting so awesome. SNDK, your king of the market. I talked about this one yesterday. You get the stall bar and you get the absolute beautiful push out of the pivot. I don't know what to say. Like, this name looks like it's going to go and make a blow off move into 2000 at least. So we will definitely have to see, but so strong. And I mean, everything in this group, right? MU, another one I own, active decent day. WDC, hold the 20 day. STX, beautiful hold of the 20 day. So many higher low setups in this group. So Rocky Lab, I think this is starting to build a nice high tight flag, right? You make 100% move up. And just beautiful consolidation, right? I would like this to continue digesting, as it's like, over 5 ATRs from the 50. So, if it does break out, it's like, okay, it's getting pretty extended, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see this name blow off into SpaceX, but either way, it is building a high tech flag. I really want to pay attention to this name, see how it acts tomorrow. If it's got an inside day early and it has a nice little washout, I'll watch for a 620 setup. But either way, I really want to pay attention to that prior day, to today's high as a higher low, because you did get an outside bar today, so it could be a higher low. Sorry for the stutter, but I think it looks great. And VIAV I talked about. Some ETFs I like. IGV is a name I own. Put in a super nice inside day today. WGMI I've talked about. It's building. It peaked out of a base today. To me, it's either going to go tomorrow and gap up, or it's going to pull back in for an inside day, and that would be super interesting. RSP, you flip to a weekly chart. Cup, handle base, looks awesome. This thing looks like it's getting ready to push out. SMH, right? Another one where, it's got a nice pivot above its head, holds a 20 day, it's building a nice cup right now. Like, it's building a base. So we'll see what can happen. But, I think it looks phenomenal. The names in this group are acting great. I want to also talk about how important it is to avoid laggers in a market like this. Do not trade laggers. Like, if you look at like the WGMI group, do not be trading Amara. Or Amara. This name looks horrible, absolutely horrible. Don't trade the laggers in the group. There's so many others I could go over. ALAB, I think, is a name that looks amazing. I'm not talking about this as a laggard. Let's just new sentence. ALAB, I think, looks awesome. A name to continue watching. FCell, I talked about, looks super awesome. And the funny thing is the reason why I mentioned these names, beautiful higher low setups inside the pivot. FCell, I talked about, beautiful higher low setup inside the pivot. BE, name I bought, nice higher low setup, nice undercut and rally. TNA, beautiful undercut and rally, as well as a higher low setup. Looks beautiful. Iron, talked about this. It was a nice undercut and rally of the pivot / a higher low setup the next day. DXYZ, super nice. This is everything I could ever dream of a higher low setup, right? You get your pivot, you put in an inside day, it makes this bar an outside bar, a nice pivot, and then you just get a push right through the prior day. Like, it's just, man, these setups just don't stop coming. They look beautiful. ARM was a higher low setup off the 20 and pushed out the next day. Definitely was viable at the 20 day this day. But, I mean, you get the higher low setup, and I mean, it's gone out of a base. So definitely beautiful. Plug, another one I talked about last night. You get your inside day and you push out. Beautiful higher low setup. BB, another one. You get a massive move up, sideways, inside day, breakout. There's your higher low. Looks so good. There's so many. Qualcomm was another one today, or even Wednesday almost, but either way, you're pushing out of that Tuesday's high today as the higher low, right? If I go to like an intraday chart or even like an hourly, you can see like first 5 minutes of the day or whatever, or we came back and tested it, whatever. But either way, just beautiful higher lows. There's so many examples. Like I can go over so many things, many names from the last few days on the watch list making unreal moves. So much opportunity in this market. Like I talked about, something I also wanted to go over really fast. Oops, crude oil losing the 50-day today. So who knows? Is it going to undercut and rally? I don't know. But either way, not a nice look. And then you also look at VLO, disgusting failed breakout. MPC, disgusting failed flat base breakout. GLNG, so gross. I mean, what the fuck is this action? Rig, some may say this is a failed breakout. It looks like it to me, so that's pretty nasty. VAL, breaks out of the flat pivot, comes right back in a big way, down almost 7.5%. And then you got something like PBR in that oil group. This looks like a short. Super nice loss of the 50. Kind of wedging right back into it. Inside day looks like a bear flag or a nice little ledge it's building. So if you want to short oil, I won't do it too much. Overnight or headline risk, overnight gap up or gap down risk, whatever you want to call it. Just overall, just headline risk that I don't want to be a part of. So I'm not going to be shorting these, but definitely interesting. And last but not least, I'm going to fire through these really quick. Some extra setups that you can keep an eye on yourself. INFQ, highest volume ever gap up today. Watching the high volume close in this one. Not going to buy this or not going to like put it on my ready list because, this name's been nothing, but this gap up was super important, in my opinion. Super big volume, really nice gain, gets back above the 200-day. Think that looks awesome. AAON, a name that's been on my list the last few days. Super nice higher low being built. I'm just gonna watch a push out of there on this nice little flag it built on the post earnings gap up. Qnity, I think this is an optics name, right? You kind of undercut and rally the 20, and then you put in a nice tight day to day. Not a bad weekly chart. This is a recent IPO, but I think this name looks fine. It could be a higher low setup for sure here. So I don't think that looks bad. HWM, this is in your aerospace defense group. Pulls back into the 20, kind of undercuts it and holds below, and then gaps up the next day, tight day to day. Flip to a weekly, it's kind of sitting under a weekly pivot. Super interesting name. SATL, super tight. This name's over, or it's almost 5 ATR spends 50. So, I mean, I look at a weekly and it's like, okay, this thing definitely could go higher, but it's kind of been straight up. I don't know. I don't mind it. Like 5 days tight, this looks like an easy push, right? And it's super high beta. So an easy push out of this name would definitely not be surprising. ATEN, another one where it's like nice base, kind of squatted back into it today with an inside day. Looks like it possibly could push out. ON, this is another one of your semiconductor names. Nice inside day, kind of building a nice little flag. Definitely interesting and one to keep an eye on. PM, this is your cigarette type of names. Sitting right under a big weekly pivot, kind of sideways for a few days, holds a 10 inside day. Maybe a push out of that is interesting. Frog, finally, it puts in an inside day. This name was 100,000% buyable in hindsight at the high volume close as an undercut and rally. Super beautiful. Gave you cushion into the close if you bought that as well. And the next day, it's just a higher low setup and pushes above the priority high. And then just a nice inside day today on this name, and it's been super strong inside of this group. RNG, last one. Not a bad inside day right under the pivot. Not a name I'd trade though. A lot of these I won't trade, but definitely interesting. And I did want to just show the top groups of the day, right? You look at the breath chart here, and I mean, it's some decent stocks up on the day today again. Some were down more than yesterday. And we're getting a little yellow signal that more than 20 names are extended 10 times the ATR from their 50-day. So definitely something to keep an eye on. But I mean, it's just showing strength in my opinion, right? Like I think we're going to see continued pushes in the market higher, and there's so many setups still. Top groups of the day, you got computer hardware, footwear and accessories, electrical equipment, solar, a lot of decent groups today. Some names doing super well. And deep view, new highs versus new lows, everything dominated. And yeah, super interesting. All the groups today, but I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.